All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. It is cold up here in Northeast Ohio, and yeah, it sucks. Damn snow, people. Damn snow. With that being said, Jamie, would you get us started off right, brother?
I'll try my best. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible. I messed it up. Let's start over. Will that help? No. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and for the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under God. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
not
I'm
prepared.
surprised. I'm surprised you took that part out.
I think Obama did a while ago.
They've
He
been
came and
trying
made
to
the
write
statement this is no longer a Christian nation.
they've been trying to write that out of the Pledge of Allegiance since before they were trying to get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right?
I'm embarrassed.
That's all right, brother. It happens, man. You're on camera. You're on screen. You're live. It happens.
No pressure or nothing,
We,
right?
we, we all mess up. It happens. Alan, what's going on, brother?
Oh man, I got snow out here in Iowa Saturday, or yesterday and the day before, just a little tiny smidge. But yeah, we've already starting to see some of that white shit hitting the fucking ground. Not excited about that, but I am excited to see that there's so many people already out in the side chat. We've got wow, what a list. There's the YouTube auditor at Coeta Politics. Annalie Brown, Cranky Cletus, Edward Petty, Fuzzfork 8, Keith Gregory, Kingpin, Lakeview Outdoors, Michael Hurtneck, Ozzy Osbourne, PA Reloader, Papa's Place, good to see you. Pre-Dawn Death, nice. Razor JB out there, Tacos and French Fries, Trees Blowing, William Nat with just a wrong picture. That just isn't right, William. Kingpin, yep, and it list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Thank you all for joining us, folks. Hobbies Hobo, how you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's popping out there, man. We got a lot of good people out there. Daniel, what's going on, man? How you doing? How you feeling?
No, I'm feeling alive. I just, we just recently had the change of daylight savings thing. And you know what they say, whenever they move the clocks forward or back, it's time to change what? That's right. It's time to change the ammo in your carry gun. Always keep a fresh mag every 6 months. I'm not worried about no smoke detectors. But that's about it. Thanks for having me on a side chat. Alan, it's good to see you. Look like you was almost ready to laugh there or something.
Well, that is an absolutely brilliant thing. I'm not sure where you picked it up at, but that's one of those things that a lot of people just don't think to swap out on a regular basis.
Yeah,
and that's a good alternative way to do it. If you don't go out and just run some rounds of your normal carry ammo, you should every now and then. You really should.
Hey, go just shoot it. That way you know where it hits in case there's some difference between that and your range ammo. I bought a one box for the wife for hers, and I got myself 2 boxes. And what keyed me up on this one here, this is visual defects. There's nothing wrong with the bullets, but hey, if I'm going to save a couple bucks, I'm going to save a couple bucks.
And I did a video a few years back now. Heck, it's been a lot longer than a few years, I guess, now at this point. But of checking your carry ammo and making sure, I had some bullet setback, because you're always taking the one round out, dropping it in, and slamming it on the chamber, and bam. So, rotate your rounds and rotate your ammo.
One thing, the thing that really kicked me off to do it, my wife just recently had to make a trip down to Myrtle Beach, and she was going to take her Rammy down. So I go in there checking it out and stuff, and I was looking there, and it's like, what the heck? The brass is stuck in there, and nothing's happening. I look closer, and it's just the bullet came out of the brass and stuck in the barrel. So I knocked that sucker out of there and made sure had some fresh stuff in. And then so today I went and bought her brand new stuff. Besides just, putting her in, make sure that stuff comes loose. You rack it in and out all the time.
Yep. Well, like I said, it's been a few years now, but I had some bullet setback on one before.
Well, and I have as well. I was carrying when I met up with Reloading from the Hot Pot, and I went to go clear the thing to hand it to him so he could check it out, and I cleared it, and I looked at the very next round in the mag, and went, that's normal, and then grabbed the one that I had cleared out and went, that's not. How about I just put this right up here on your bookcase? It's just a little compressed.
Yep, it'll happen.
The centrifugal force of that bullet getting jammed into any semi-automatic is going to be pushing that bullet out just a little bit more each time. I don't care what kind of gun you got. Well, it's not going to happen on a revolver, I don't think. What did Jamie?
It can. Yeah, it's more than just CC's ball carriers. I've had it happen on Berettas and some others as well. It'll happen.
Poor Al. Al,
Well,
putting them back together is always harder.
I think with a revolver, more what we see is it pushing back in there and creating high pressure. When you think about it, what you're dealing with is the recoil, and it goes back and stops. I don't know.
Oh, with a
Yeah,
revolver, you unload it.
Pressures, but nevertheless, I want as consistent as possible with the carry ammo. So I'm very, very kind of picky about that. But then again, typically, I don't have like a date. It is kind of a good rule of thumb. If there's a time change your carry ammo. That's just a good 2-time annual reminder. But typically before I leave the range, I'll run a mag of the ammo, my carry ammo, before I leave the range. So yeah, I'm consistently cycling through.
Typically, what you'll see, cranky is not going to be set back, obviously. But what you'll see is you'll see discoloration in the bullet, and you'll see some other things happen as well. But a lot of times you'll see discoloration starting first off, especially with revolvers.
Yeah. Where would we be without daylight savings chime? We would die of smoke inhalation, our flashlights would go dead, and our ammo would fall apart in the gun. So when you shoot it, all you hear is a psst and a lot of smoke.
Bald and Curious out there brings up changing the batteries in your lights and optics. For those of us that carry with lights and optics, yeah, that's a good time anyway, because if you've had it in there for any extended period of time, yeah, at least twice a year. I mean, I'll go through in the two carry pistols that I'm running lights and optics right now. I've put one battery in each since I started doing it, and yeah, it's been just about a year, so it's probably just good advice. Twice a year, why not? It's not going to hurt nothing. It's not that expensive to do.
Good to see you, Poco. Daniel, did you bring the dancing girls?
Yeah, they're on the other side of the room, but they're mine. I don't share. Just
Golf with your friends, right?
golf. I don't see the point in golfing since I quit drinking. It's just not fun anymore. I felt guilty the last time I golfed because I golfed sober. Hitting golf balls at little old blue-haired old ladies just ain't funny anymore sober. When you're drunk, it's funny.
Well, you get more points when you're sober.
Yeah, but there's a guilt factor.
There's no guilt factor.
I'm sorry I hit you in the head, Grandma.
It's kind of hard to say that when you're pointing and laughing, though.
It's hard to be believable.
See, they go slower, so technically you're supposed to play through, but if you can't get around them, then you just got to take them out.
Yeah,
Jamie,
and
the old lady got a year older, huh? Did you have a good birthday?
Who are you talking to?
Jamie.
Jamie?
I'm sorry. We did go out to this story here. Yesterday was my wife's birthday, and I would tell you how old she was, but she would kill me dead right now. But I got a gift card from our Sunday school director because I teach a Sunday school class for Olive Garden, and she loves Olive Garden, so we went to Olive Garden. So we have our meal, and the guy wouldn't tell me how much the gift card was, what the value of it was, until we got ready to pay the check. It's amazing how that works. And yeah, check, got around to pay the bill. Check was, what things cost these days. And he put the gift card in, and man, it was barely enough to cover the tip. And I'm like, dang, man, y'all could at least, write an amount on there. So some of these other Sunday school teachers are going out to eat and expecting that to pay for their supper. They might be in for a shop. But the point of my story is not that my church is stingy. They're not. They're very giving, very loving people. It's just everything is so expensive. The quality of the food it was obviously pre-prepared. The the linguine was way past al dente. The chicken was okay. It was cooked well. but the sauce and the noodles had obviously been mixed together for quite a while before they brought it to the table. Everything's pre-prepared now, guys. When you go out to eat anywhere, be prepared to eat microwave food. And I cook and I like to cook a little bit. So when I go out, I expect to pay for a meal and I expect to tip well, but I expect it to be better than I can do at home. And if I can do it at home cheaper, I'd rather stay at home. The one exception is I go out to eat, I don't have to clean up the mess, and that's a big thing. And a lot of times, dishes is worth the price of the meal. So I don't know what you guys' experiences are. It's the first time we've been out to eat since the pandemic, to speak of. I mean, we've been out a couple of times, but um, it was shocking. I'm a steakhouse guy. I think you can understand that. So when you go to these places like that, it was shocking that everything tasted so pre-done, and then the what they charge you for it was, yeah.
The important thing is, did you have a good time though? Did the lady have a good time?
She did, man. She didn't have to cook, you know, and she didn't seem to be embarrassed to be out with me, so that's a win, you know. See, that's what I'm talking about, Bald. In our town, and it's not a small town. Daniel and Scotsman been well. They've had supper at my house, but I don't know if they've been in town or not. But there's 100,000 people that lives in this county. A handcrafted restaurant would do amazing right now. And I mean, you go to places like Texas Roadhouse or what's the other steakhouse? The Outback, yeah. And then even Longhorn Steaks. Man, you can't get in there on a Friday, Saturday night. Well, pretty much any night of the week, there's a 30 to 45 minute wait. And I'm like, dang, people.
Well, I'll give you some advice, Jamie. And I don't know if he's watching or not, and that's okay if he is. But if you're ever in Iowa, do not take recommendations for food places from the Bearded CB82. It will cause you nothing but pain and agony and suffering and aggravation and yeah, you name it.
Yeah, it was absolutely like he gave us this recommendation and we're like, I'm like, okay, well, where's it at? Google map it, and I'm like, that's right smack dab in the middle of fucking lib territory. Um, and good God, was it lib territory? I just that was
It was insane. So first off, we walk in the door, and this girl that doesn't look older than probably 16 walks by and goes, "You can seat yourself," and says it so quickly you can barely hear it, and runs off. So
Did
we're
they
all kind of standing
say
there like,
and none of us heard what she said. None of it. We're just like, did she? What she just say? I don't know what she's. None of us heard what she said at all.
so they were okay with you wearing your kilt but not having the 10 millimeter hanging off the side?
Well, I was back out in the general public. I wasn't openly carrying, but um, yeah, she comes back around. She's like, yeah, you can seat yourselves. There's a table back there, and the menus are on the table. She kind of like is half walking us to the fucking table, and she's like, you have to order off of the menus. So use your phone and scan the QR reader and place your order that way. You can actually go up to the counter and place your order, but I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Why didn't
It's
you turn
like,
around and leave?
Right, just walk out, man.
Well, that's what happened. We looked at each other, and I'm sitting there, and they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them like, "You want to get the fuck out of here and go somewhere else?"
oh, but quite before that, we started glancing at the menu, and the first, I'm like looking for some kind of meat, right? First word I see is pork, and the word behind it was flavored. I'm like, and I'm just looking at everybody. Wisconsin's like, you want to kick rocks? I'm like, yep, push the chair out, we're gone.
I was looking for
It
steak.
was
I couldn't see
the
steak
worst
anywhere.
fucking recommendation ever. Do
There
not
was no
take
steak. There was no
restaurant
burgers.
recommendations from Bearded CB.
There was nothing.
I wonder how many texts Bearded CB's getting from people right now.
Well, that was the thing. Like, as soon as we left, I texted him. I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And about 5 minutes later, he's like, "What?" I'm like, dude, seriously, come on, man. I don't know what the fuck that was you sent us to, but holy shit. And I broke it down for him. He's like, "Oh, it wasn't like that when I was there." Yeah, okay. We got Phil out there. Good to see Phil. We got Pops. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it was what we gotta turn in our own order, and oh, and then when the food comes up, they'll let you know when it's ready, and you can just come up and get it. I'm like, fucking what? Really,
I was like, "Do I need to just go cook it my damn self?" Yeah, I was like, "Nah, let's fucking. You want to just get the fuck out of here?"
Yeah, and we automatically add a 15% gratuity.
Oh,
No,
you
that
gotta love that. You gotta absolutely love that because then they don't do any kind of work for you in any way, shape, or form. And oh, and it was one of those kind of joints that they don't post how much anything is on the menu.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, left there and went to a Texas Roadhouse.
am I the only one? But does the lame excuse we're short staffed because of COVID? Are we getting tired of that yet?
Mm-hmm.
When they say because of COVID, yeah, I'm dead tired of that shit. Um, the thing that I'm really, really, really not understanding, actually, I'm not misunderstanding it. Anybody that wants a job right now is working. Anybody that wants to upgrade their job can probably upgrade their jobs. It's the fact that there's so many people that just don't give a shit about fucking working. They've gotten themselves acclimated to milking off the udder of the gutter of the government. And why should I go to work when I'm still getting paid to sit on my ass and do nothing all day or whatever they do? I have no idea what the fuck a person would do with that much time.
Yeah, there's so many jobs out there. If you want a job at the post office, they'll take you in. They'll hire you. Period. They're begging for people. They can't find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere you go right now, you can get a job doing almost anything. It's just, well, yeah, Ball. I mean, you'd be able to collect even more. You just turn on that accent and they would be like giving you extra shit. Probably
No,
pay
the
for your
problem
daughter's
there is
college.
they would see he became a citizen and go, oh fuck no, you can't have anything.
Wear a dress bald and put on a wig, then you'll get it.
Yeah, yeah. Just telling you identify as an illegal alien and you'll be fine.
Your pronoun of the week.
Yeah, there is so many jobs out there. Um, I mean, literally just in the facility that I own or that I'm part owner of, is uh, there's like 50 openings. Yeah, like 50.
And if anybody out there in the side chat lives near either of these plants, go apply for a job and start making some primers, will you?
And sneak all you can out and send them to me.
I'm sure there's stringent checks on that one for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have tried to do that in the past.
Might be why they're understaffed, right?
It might be.
Well, back then they were so cheap, they probably didn't care at the end of the week if someone walked out with a box.
No, but when all this shit hit and they were on eBay, not on eBay, but on Gunbroker and shit like that for $200-300 and all the rest of it, they're probably like, ooh, they're making profit. Oh, we got to stop that shit.
Well, Jamie, I should have gone ahead and clicked on that link you sent me and ordered those things from Midway because I went to my local and they finally had them in after 2 years. I only bought one box because they were charging $40.99 for them.
Wow.
We're on
That's
Midway.
your that's your deer killing projectile for 300 blackout.
That's not my deer killing. Well, it's killed deer. I killed wounded ones with it in front of the game warden, even. But that's my go-to. I load. That's my number one load for my 300 blackout
There you
because
go.
it's just so accurate.
I
Pops
wouldn't
out
be
there winning. Good job. Good job, Pops.
absolutely. No, man. I would. I'd be hunting with those, or I'd be putting meat on the table, paying that kind of money.
I just buy a few. I mean, this week's purchases were, the 3 boxes of the hollow points. These right here and these. That was my spend money for the week, and I just keep stashing them away. It adds up over time.
Yep.
Man, you can get some good cast lead loads with 300 blackout. That's nutty accurate. That's one of the things that shocked me about 300 blackout. Never shot it, never loaded for it. Buddy of mine says, I need you to make me some 300 blackout. I said, I don't have dies for it. I don't have brass, and I don't have a gun to test it in. I said, you buy some dies, some projectiles, and give me your upper for a couple of weeks, and I'll make you some ammo. I loaded up this ammo, tested everything, made sure it fit, everything's going to be safe. Carried out back here, shooting it at 50 yards and making the same hole, one hole groups and 5 shots. Some of that was with some of my cast bullets with IMR 4227, and then I did some with 1680. Man, that gun, I mean, 300 blackout. As much as I've resisted buying one, the blame things are accurate as a day is long. You get some good brass, and I mean, you can just work up a load and just drive tacks with them. I think they'd make a good hunting weapon at close range. I wouldn't trust them out past 100 yards, but I'm sure 110 would be good.
You put that bullet in their ear at 300 yards, it'll take them down. Like a 22 at close range.
Well,
But to hit them at 300 yards in the ear, that's another thing.
yeah. They're accurate, but that's going to take some shooting. That's going to take some skills. And just so y'all know, I've seen Daniel shoot 300 yards with his 300 blackout with a red dot. There's Dave. What's up, Thor's Axe? Hope you're doing good, buddy. We need to get together and have a chat soon.
Well, heck, pre-dawn Daniel can tell you that one.
Yeah. X. 300 yards, X.
With a red dot.
Willie Boodle, man, put up the video. That was the first time I shot it out that far.
Yep.
What tickled me, though, was Daniel's all convinced it's him. And then Gene goes up there and does the exact same thing with his. And I'm like, dang.
And right after that, Jamie finally gets himself a 300 blackout. Was that about it?
No,
No? You got yours before that?
I don't have a 300 blackout.
Wait a minute. After you've seen this twice, you don't have your own 300 blackout.
No, I've got a 30-30 lever gun, man. I don't need a 300 blackout.
Oh, that's sacrilege.
I got a 300 and a 300 blackout. Come on, dude.
Give up your man card. Come on, Jamie. When a
Not
man
doing
says he don't need another gun, give up your man card.
I didn't say I didn't need another gun.
You
I
said
don't
you
need
don't.
a 300 blackout.
That's a gun. Give up your man card.
No, I'm saving up for a 44 mag lever action right now. So if you want to take my man card for that,
What? Okay, which 44 Magnum lever are you looking at?
what I really want is a Marlin. I would settle for a Henry, I guess.
Settle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and what I really want is old Marlin with with the JM stamp.
Now I can understand that. As far as new guns,
Well, let's be real, man. If it came down between a Ruger made Marlin, a new one, and a Henry, I'd go with the Henry because Ruger is, well, by the time the Ruger made Marlins get to the store anyway, they they're unreal with what they're wanting for those.
What is the kind of holdover that you see for 300 yards on a 300 blackout?
I held probably somewhere between 5 and 6 foot, if I remember right. And I had to hold to the left a little bit because there was a little bit of a breeze blowing at the time. And the rotation of the earth in the moon phase.
With a fucking pencil.
Preferably a dull one.
I didn't use a pencil. I just did it all in my head.
And Dave's right. I mean, mopeds are okay till you straddle a Harley the first time, and then Do we really want a 300 blackout? I'm sorry.
Hey, a blackout is the most versatile gun, and probably, in my personal opinion, the best home defensive gun that you can have. If you want to put a suppressor in it, if you have the inclination to put a suppressor on it, you won't even wake up your wife while you're shooting the burglar.
Now I can understand that. That would be a good purpose for it because after all, as Kyle has told me several times, 300 blackout was designed to clear rooms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, before y'all had the 300 blackout, you were doing that with a 1911. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I love mine because I can go supersonic or subsonic and keep the suppressor on it either way. Right now, I'm kicking around. I was actually looking at suppressors today for it. So, what is the recommended suppressor for that gun?
No clue, man. There's so many different ones out there.
There's Mr. Leverguns. What's up, buddy?
The side chat ought to have some opinions on that, recommendations.
Well, there's a recommendation for you. It really kind of amazes me how many companies are in the suppressor market. It's not like it's a like readily available item that people are just picking up all the time. There's probably some people that have one for every tool they own. But there's so much of a drama that's needed to happen in order to get it that a lot of people don't get one. So I don't understand how all these companies continue to stay alive and keep producing newer models. And
why get a 2-liter bottle and fill it full of insulation when a pillow would do the same thing? Bald, if you guys haven't seen Bald's comment there.
I'm guessing you tried this, Paul.
There's also oil filters that will work too. Automotive oil filters.
Yeah, there's too many damn different bullets coming out, different rounds, 8.6 blackouts in the newest one. It's always something. And, we've said it many times, but it's all just designed to take money out of your pocketbook. So,
Flavor of the month.
I mean, so yeah, where were you looking? Were you looking Dead Air, Silencer Co., Gemtech, Yankee Hill Machine, Elite Iron? I mean, I could keep going. Where were you looking? Just looking around, Daniel, or?
Just checking them out, and I've known of one that I wanted before, but I'm looking. I can spend. Can I spend half the money and get something as good? But right now, Fuzzy's got me distracted because that whole pillow comment. He's saying pillows catch a fire too. If you instead of that, that's exactly why you should use a pillow. The fire helps destroy DNA evidence.
Could I ask Dave, a question. Thorzax, you said in your last comment, number 4 buck is all you need. Do you like the Lee uh, for number 4 buck out mold, buckshot mold? If and Lakeview, if you're using number 4 buckshot, what mold are you using, or are you buying it precast? I kind of want a number 4 buckshot mold, a number double aught, maybe a single aught. I'm not sure. Yeah, we're starting in the rabbit hole of shotgun loading. Uh, you can get 1,000 shotgun primers for about $65, which ain't great, but it's a lot better than 100 for.
I've seen them a little bit cheaper than that.
Yeah, they're coming down to around 80 now.
No, I mean I've seen shotgun primers a lot cheaper than that. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I've seen 209s for 45. I think it was.
All right.
Yeah, Razor. His is a 16-inch barrel.
Have you ever seen them like this?
No.
These are Noble
Great.
201. Got a big tray. And that's all on.
Huh.
And they $64. So there's that. Shotguns are pretty versatile too, Daniel.
Oh yeah, I grew up with shotgun. That's my first one. I started out squirrel and rabbit hunting with it. Took the same one deer hunting with slugs. It's a single shot shotgun.
Pre-Dawn's all right, man. He's a good brother.
I'm just giving him grief because he's out there giving grief. I'm just giving him some right back. We can take it. I'm sure he can too.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn positive he can.
Oh, he can. If he hangs out with assholes like me, he can take it.
Oh wait a minute, he's just saying he's going to leave.
No. He's not all butthurt. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm not trying to chase everybody away, just New York Outcast. Because he can't tan worth a crap.
He's sending you some love. Careful, Pre-Dawn. He's Navy. He might like that.
I'm getting thoroughly entertaining just reading the side chat here.
Well, that's a big part of the attraction, man.
It sure ain't us, that's for sure.
Oh, think about it though. I mean, you can go watch some silly sitcom on TV, but here you get to actually contribute and you know interact with the people on the screen a little bit. So did Thorzax ever answer my question?
I gotta scroll back up. Hang
I'm
on.
backing up. You go ahead and do what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel would ever use a pillow unless he really had to.
If it was someone else's pillow, not a problem. My own pillow, no.
I understand that, Dave. He's saying he don't. It casts great, holds a great pattern, but he don't use reloads for self defense. He uses store bought because his life is on the line. And I understand that. There's more to it than that. Even if you get the perfect, you get the perfect load, and you know they're accurate as crap. What are lawyers going to say when they find out you shot an invader into your home with a homemade shotgun shot shell?
Yeah, it just opens the door for more questions
Mm-hmm.
that really shouldn't be there, but they are. It's just the facts. Is it opens up the door to, well, they made a more deadlier round, hoping that somebody would come along and they'd be able to use it. It's a kind of an asinine notion, but it happens all the time in self-defense cases
Yeah.
where that is specifically brought up simply so they can open up the door to oh well, you made some malicious round. No, I engineered a round that functions the best in that particular firearm. But no, that without severe education, nobody really understands that other than you know actual gun people.
Well, lawyers love it just because it's another avenue for them to make more money.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is, if certain entities didn't stick their nose in everybody's business, wouldn't be an issue anyway. We could all afford to go buy store bought ammunition, right? It wouldn't be a thing.
I use the same type of ammo that the police have in their guns, and the bailiff in the courtroom has in his gun.
Well, and that's what I'll tell people that are beginning carriers. What kind of ammunition should I run? I said the one that works. I said in all actuality, if you really really want to know, find out what your local law enforcement uses, find out what your local sheriffs use, and see if that runs in your weapon. If that runs and you can hit with it accurately, use that. If you're concerned about that.
But then you've got a prosecuting attorney that's going to say, well, why should the average guy have something as strong as what the police use?
Because they weren't there. Well, that's the right answer. But they're going to say,
Joe
when your face,
Sixpack don't need the same thing the law enforcement did. Yeah, actually, we need better than what they've got.
That's exactly it, man. They'll use anything they can.
Yeah, and it's really easy to pull the wool over somebody's eyes by making them believe that you know what you're talking about when you have absolutely no clue what you're talking about. But if you come off like a prosecuting attorney does, sounding like they know what the hell they're talking about, um, a jury can be totally in the dark and completely buy every line of horse shit.
And a 9mm will blow your lungs out.
That's right.
Completely out of your body. Everything. No more lungs.
Just remember, a 44 Magnum will blow your head clean off.
So what do you think the odds are that this chat's going to get pulled off tomorrow?
Yeah, whatever. Fucking screw the YouTube.
So don't leave because you won't have a second chance.
I like to see what people are using out there in the side chat for their home defense. Pre-dawn death with the dragon's breath. That is absolutely awesome because not only can you take out the perp, but you can also roast yourself. Maybe a hot dog or something else in the process. Paco out there pulls out the pink high point, and most people would kind of go, "Ooh, really? No, just that you're holding up a pink high point is going to get the perp to stop what he's doing and start busting up laughing. That way you can make sure you've got good aim and get a good shot on there.
I was going to say that the
You might
shock
have to
factor,
rack it 3 or 4 times, but
the
you'll be
shock
laughing
factor
so
alone.
hard.
Yeah, the shock factor alone is going to stop them in the tracks.
You know what the shock proof of a muzzleloader, just with some newspaper wadded over the powder, will do when you blast it off your roof at 12 o'clock at night when your high school buddies are coming over to roll you? Change of pants are involved. Done it. My dad asked me, "What are you doing out there?" I said, "Just chasing off some TPers."
Sir, do you want to prosecute him for shooting you? Hell no, I don't want to go to court and tell anybody there was a big fat naked man shot me with a pink high point. Fuck that.
All right, what else we got out there? Come on, folks, let us know what you're using. My go-to has always been Federal HST. Runs well, shoots well, is accurate. That's my go-to.
Yeah, the Federal HSE was one of my carry-arounds for a long time. It just was. Now, I mean, in most circumstances, it's critical defense. It's just what I'm carrying around. Now, for in the home, that varies upon where I'm standing. So it could be critical defense, or it could be a 1-ounce slug. Yeah, it just depends upon where I'm standing. German Shepherds are good. German Shepherds, especially when they're loaded with tannerite.
Some people don't like their shoulders. Say, now Fuzzy's smart. He's using low brass in his shotgun for home defense. You're shooting that close, that's all you need. And when, I don't know, Fuzzy, when you're low on shot shells and stuff, do you just take your knife and cut some little slits in it so it comes just out like a poor man's slug?
How about some of that?
Oh, that's some nice looking love right there.
Is that a screw in the middle of it?
It sure is. It goes down range just like that. And that's coming out about 1350 feet per second out of a 2 3/4 inch 12 gauge shell.
How do you explain when they do the X-ray to take that out of the body or whatever? They see a screw in there. But using it on deer should be okay though.
Here's what they look like before you put the wad on there. Just should I weigh one of these? I should weigh one of these, shouldn't I?
So wait, 370 to 400 grain?
More than that. Any guesses?
I mean, if he said 350, 400 grain, and you said more than that, I'm going to go 6 1/4.
Not quite that much.
I'm gonna go 5.
Close. 528.2 grains. So obviously it's designed to weigh 525 grains.
So what does that one attached to the slug weigh?
The one with the wad already on it, with the screw in it.
Already with the wad already on it. With the self tapper, I guess.
Hold on a minute. Let's find out. Any guesses? No. 570. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was thinking of sticking to the 6 1/4, but I'll drop it to 6.
576.8 grains.
576 grains of love there, baby. Hell yeah.
And I bet Thorzax can tell us how fast these come out of the barrel. I know he has, if not this exact mold, one very similar to it. And I think the powder of choice for these would be long shot.
I was thinking the exit would be 4 different holes as long as those pedals are. It looks like it's designed to completely fly apart once it hits. Expend the energy.
It'll definitely peel back, wouldn't it? Can
Oh
you
yeah.
imagine that peeling back and open up and not spreading, not tearing off? That would be horrible. Look, guys, my buddy killed 2 deer yesterday. We carried them up to a processor. There was a guy there, um, dropped off a yearling doe. She had a wound in her front shoulder about that big around. And on the other side, she had a hole that I could have stuck my fist in. And this deer couldn't have weighed more than 40 pounds. I'm like, man, come on.
Oh, did you see that video East Texas Outlaws posted today? The 450 Bushmaster. He's talking about to shoulder shoot him or not because that thing turned this deer's whole shoulder into hamburger.
Well, did you see Pat RMG's one? He blew out the entire neck. He lost so much meat, he blew out the entire fucking neck.
I don't aim for the shoulder. I aim right behind the shoulder because that's the center of the boiler room.
I want right behind that front shoulder.
Exactly. Right on the crease, right behind it.
And as high as I can get without getting in the back strap. But to know that, you got to know where the back strap starts, and yeah. Or better yet, I'll go between the shoulder and the base of the neck. Like, I mean, they don't move after that because you you shattered that spinal column. So yeah, we're going to get Scotsman a strike tonight.
Shit happens. Won't be my first, won't be my last.
All right, Scotsman. So I'm dealing with these. Let me grab a couple and show you. That ain't it. You know, I'm a new uh, member of the 44 Society around here. Um, I've been
Late to the party.
yeah, late to the party. Um, what did I do with those things?
Oh, you missed all kinds of stuff, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, those are over there. So I've been. This is the mold that 6-shooter Texan gave me, and I got several molds from CW. So this is a 230 grain 44, and it's made by 6-shooter Texan made this himself and blessed me with that mold. It's 4 cavity, made very much like an NOE. Then this is the 429 215, which is a um, semi wad cutter gas check design, 200 grain bullet, and you can see the size of these. They're both pretty good sized bullets. And then today I turned my attention to something that I already had casted up. Um, these are NOE 356 135 flat nose HTC design. Pretty little bullet. But look at the difference. I mean, it's shocking.
I was gonna say that thing is tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty shocking. I never thought of a 9mm or a 357 Magnum being a small diameter, and they're really not. But when you get up to 44s and 45s, yeah. Here's another bullet I'm dealing with.
It'll drain the pot fast, man.
It drains the pot fast, but not like those shotgun slugs. I'm talking about, whoa. Yeah, and about every 45 minutes, you're filling that pot back up.
I can believe it.
This is a 200 grain Lyman. I forget the number, but it's for 45 ACP. 200 grain truncated cone, and it's got the one lube groove in the. Well, it's actually. I think this is actually 2 lube grooves rather than a crimp groove because it's designed for 45 ACP. So you're going to be seating it down to just about that band right there, that front driving band, and you'll be taper crimping those. But That's still fat compared to that one, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I've not got into 45 Colt yet, and I haven't bought a 300 Blackout. And
I have everything set up for 45 Colt. I just gotta load it. I just gotta pick a load and load it. I got bullets from Mark and bullets from CW, and man, I got all kinds of bullets from CW. I gotta figure out different charges for and all the rest of it.
well, I I was lucky to be able to obtain that particular 44 special I have, and I can't wait for you to check it out, Scotsman, and get to shoot it. And I know Daniel will like it if he's with you. And, but it's a new model Black Hawk, and it's a flat top, and it's 44 special built on the 357 Magnum frame size of the old model. Back in when they did the old models, they had the frame sizes were according to the calibers. What's up, Idaho? I know, Kyle, I do, but I probably already have it. I've got the.
He's just trying to get you up there so he can help you process that meat, so he can get some meat. That's all he's trying to do.
I'm
We got your number, Kyle. We got your number.
I'm hoping I'll get a couple more deer tomorrow, and I can just take one down there and just throw it in this front yard. Here, man, make yourself useful. I love Kyle. Nothing would tickle me more than to be able to bless some folks with some meat. I mean, I really would. And we have the opportunity this year because property owners wanting to uh, knock down the population a little bit. He's trying to get into bird hunting, and everything he plants to attract dove and quail and the such is being devoured by the deer. So we get to benefit by killing as many deer off the place this year as we can. There's reloading from the hot pot. I don't care what anybody says, and Ms. Hot Shot will tell you. Some of the most fun you can have is with a 357 Magnum lever action rifle. I'm telling you, it is just fun. And that's one reason I don't have a 300 Blackout.
Hey, Jamie, had a auto mechanic there last week. Gave me 1/3 of a 5-gallon bucket of full of wheel weights. Look at these suckers.
Nice.
I mean,
Those are off of, see, when I go down to the bus shop at work, I get a few of those. They don't have any.
they've never been used.
Yeah, my stash is depleted, man. Go ahead, Outcast. We're ready. We're grown ups here. I'll set them up. You knock them down. We'll make a great team.
Fuzzy wanted to be blown up on this here, as far as the size of these things.
Yeah, they're a good size, man.
We got the good stuff. Never been cut, never been mounted. Primo. Hey, I want to have to go talk to the guys that do work on the big rigs. I've got like 2 places out here. A couple boxes of 9 mil or 45, ends up getting you buckets of wheel weights for a long time.
You might not even need to do that, man. They might just give it to you. Don't offer unless you have to.
Well, I know that there's people, the scrappers, they go around, they buy, they make their circuits around all the garages, and they give them cash for whatever.
No, I'm just saying, don't offer unless you have to. If you have to, then yeah, absolutely. But sometimes these places will just give it to you for free.
Hey, if you need your camper worked on right away and you don't want to wait a month and you can get it done the next day, one box of 9mm reloads works 9 out of 10 times.
Okay,
You
we can
mean
all
9
handle it
out
here,
of 10
man.
times it
You want your
works
own man.
70% of the time?
9 out of
9
10
out of 10
times.
times it works 70% of the time?
I don't know where you went to school, but that math don't work. Some of that new math.
That's that
I
Biden
got,
now.
I got some math that does work. Think about this. Talking about golf earlier. Guy once said 90% of the putts you leave short don't go in. Oh, at least 90%.
See, look at that. We talk to the devil and he shows up.
What's up, Mark? There you go. I could stand a couple of buckets, Kyle. You want me to make some 44s? I got plenty of bullets made up. Well, not plenty. I got a few.
So, Scott's been the last couple of days. Have you gone outside for any good amount of time?
No, I've avoided it.
I went to go get the camper from the campsite to bring it home yesterday. And right out here, as you head up the hill between
Mhm.
that little woods, that big field,
Yeah.
I just got up to 45 mile an hour. And all of a sudden, I just see this flash coming off the hill. I laid on the brakes, and one deer 7 feet from the front end of the truck. I'm slowing down more. The second deer 3 feet from the front end of the truck. I'm at a dead stop, and the third deer kind of looks at me through the driver's side window. He goes, "Oh, you're not Allen." And they walked around and left and didn't even put a dent in my truck.
Yeah, I saw one Thursday. I think it's Thursday night. I saw one going to work. He was just casually walking across the road. Didn't speed up or nothing when he saw me. He just kept going casual.
These things ambushed me. I could have hit at least 2 out of 3 of them. I'm glad I didn't. I don't need that.
So, Jamie, you're jumping out. I'll talk to you later
No, man, I'm just
about
pulling
that.
right here to put some bullets in the toaster oven. I can hear you.
Oh, well, I'm just really curious. What the heck's going on out there in Georgia with this runoff election crap? Well, people can't make up their minds if they want to be free in Georgia or not. Uh,
See, Alan, that depends on what your definition of free is, sir. Do you want to pay for your groceries or do you want the government to give it to you? Do you want to go to work and earn a living or you want the government to give it to you? What is your definition of free? Free to me means I go to work and I earn my living and I can do what I want to. To other folks who also vote in this state, free means I can lay in the bed, smoke dope, take pills, and get stuff give to me for free.
It's like in Nevada. You can win every county in the state except for two and still get elected to be senator. Reno and Clark
We're
County.
definitely getting hit on this one. So might as well just go ahead and just send it over the rails as it is. But do you notice all the same states as the 2020 election? All the same fucking states are late.
Mm-hmm.
And how can you be California and you still only got 50 some percent of the vote counted? And it's the election was last Tuesday and it's Sunday.
Well, because
Yeah,
they
Mark,
only
you
know
know,
that new math out there
we're
in
all
California.
paying for it.
You're all deniers, okay? You're all election deniers.
Well, it's like a guy that I was working with. Um, that's right, Mark. We're paying for it. Everybody else is paying for it. It's like a guy said that I was working with to get working on getting our leased copiers returned, and he was hauling them to Florida for us and all this kind of stuff. But that's another story that made me so mad I could spit nails. So he's like, I got a lot of friends, man. They live in the projects, and they say I can get my $1,500 a month, and all I gotta do is vote for so and so and so and so. And he says, $1,500 a month. And the guy said, yeah, plus food stamps and this, that, and the other. He said, man, I need $1,800 a week. I don't know what planet you're living on, but have you been to the grocery store? And they get their food stamps too. So what's the $1,500 for?
Yep.
Good night, outcast. Look, man, I don't want to come across as harsh or bitter or anything like that. When there's people in this world, in this nation, in this state, in this town that need help, I think we're the richest nation in the world. We need to help them. A hand up is a far cry from a way of life. You know, we'll
There's
give
no
you.
there's no money in that though, Jamie. That's the problem.
Well, there's no votes in that either, Scotsman.
That's the thing. There's no votes and no money in it. If they don't have a way to filter their money and get it back another way, they're not interested. Why do you think we're always engaged in a conflict? We're always engaged in the conflict so they have a way to filter their money.
Right. Let me say this about Idaho Rogers' comment. Idaho, Florida counted 7 million votes in 5.5 hours. It takes Georgia 5 days to count 2.5 million votes. What's up with that? Do we need to bring in vote counters from Florida? Sounds like, man, y'all don't know how
Well,
frustrating it is living here right now.
Jamie, in Georgia, the only way they know how to count is by 3, 7, and those combinations of how many more points than they got than the other team. This whole vote counting things is 1, 2, 3, and they get all messed up.
Now it goes one for you, one for me, two for you, 1, 2 for me, 3 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me, and so on.
Well, and it's the same thing as before. They had the dumps at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
The number dumps. It's just insane.
Yeah, that's a good thing, Annalie. I'm not being negative against Florida at all. I'm patting them on the back. Exactly, Bald. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. It's the same. It was all the same states.
Yeah, it's like we got to know how many votes we need to win before we actually finish counting them, because we can find something somewhere, surely, to goodness.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
And then you think about what Donald Trump did to our governor and secretary of state, calling them up, putting the heat on them to find 11,000 more votes. Said, no, you don't understand, Mr. President. You know, they already got the number and far before we did, and they the one that found 11,000 more votes than they needed. So, and to me, you know, yeah, maybe I'm a bitter Republican loser or whatever. I don't consider myself a Republican. I consider myself a constitutional conservative. But it's amazing how this all started back with Stacey Abrams' race against Brian Kemp the first time when she almost won, but she was down by 15 points in the polls the day before the election. Then she almost wins that. Then the next election, all of a sudden, we have two Democratic senators. What? In Georgia? Yeah, it's amazing. I
Yep.
blame it, and I think Chico would agree with me. We kind of blame it on her. I believe Stacey Abrams is the one that learned how to cheat the system.
Well, and that's the thing. They've been playing the system, and once they have a good way of doing it, they can spread it around. Didn't work last time, but they got it this time.
Yeah, well, I think her reward now that she's hopefully is out of our lives in Georgia.
That ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. But I think I think you'll see her appointed to a federal position.
Probably. She'll be
Lower
worse. She'll be worse than ever.
lower cabinet level, something.
Yeah, she'll be worse than ever.
Scotsman, did I send you that link for sponsor a liberal for $8 a month?
Yeah. Yeah, I
What'd
saw.
you
I
think?
saw it. I've seen that before.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just laughed my butt off on that.
No, it's good. I've seen it before though. It's good though.
Yeah, yeah, Al, we're just going to leave you hanging on that. I'm not going to expound any more on that.
Yeah, I liked how there was so many quotes saying, "Oh well, if the Republicans win, it'll be the end of our democracy." That sounds like a selling point to me because it ain't a fucking democracy. It's a constitutional republic, you dumbass.
And
Just
that's the
because you
thing though.
want it to be a democracy doesn't mean that it is.
Well, they don't want a democracy. They want it to be socialist. And that's the problem. And Poco was asking about Bill Gates earlier. Well, Bill Gates is all over the place because Bill Gates is so deep in everything as a part of making all this socialist stuff happen. He is in deep. But they'll always use words and use different things and tactics like the Pelosi attack. That was bullshit. We know it was bullshit. The second it happened, they kept changing the facts every 5 seconds. The cops changed the facts every 5 seconds. It was a whole, total fucking setup in order to try and gain votes. They were going for sympathy votes. Gates owns all the farmland. He's been buying it up so he can push his bullshit fake meat.
pork flavored.
We also bought a water treatment plant, and the very next day, the EPA changed their water standards. Funny how that happens, huh?
Hey Scotsman, on this election, did you have to go out and fill out the paper form this time? That's what they
No, they
was
had
using
the
out here.
electronic stuff.
Yeah, we had to fill it out, fill in a little hole, just like back in high school. Fill
Yeah,
that in.
it was all electronic, and I had to kind of take my time because it was a little weird, and I'm like, I wanted to make sure everything was going in correctly. Because the way they had it set up, they almost had it set up so you were actually destined to fail and hit the wrong button.
Huh. And we had this really strange thing down here in Ohio of one of the issues we passed here was actually requiring someone to be a citizen to vote.
What?
And we ID here.
Yeah, we passed a law here in Ohio. You have to be a citizen to vote and prove it.
How did the Pennsylvania Senate election turn out? Did Oz win or did
No. The blithering idiot got in. And again, that one that whole thing right there, that's the setup as well. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. This check.
Wait. You mean they elected a dead guy?
Yep. I heard that. Yep. And it's not the first time. It's actually the second time the state has elected a dead guy.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he had been in what Congress for almost as long as Chuck Grassley. Now, Chuck Grassley here in Iowa, one of his main focuses is keeping foreign entities away from being able to purchase farmland here in Iowa. That's one of the things he's on. And but the man honestly is the poster child for term limits in the fact that he's been in there forever and a day. He got reelected again. And I'm totally copacetic with that because wow, was the other guy just a drunken fucking mess. Yeah, that would have been a disaster if good old Chuck Grassley didn't win again here in Iowa.
Kyle, I didn't slam it on the desk, but it was funny when I first walked in there. You got a bunch of old ladies sitting at the table behind the table, and one on the very end looks up and goes, "Well, you're a tall drink of water, ain't you?"
You're a what?
Tall drink of water.
Ah.
Yeah, she's from the South, man.
Obviously, she had cataracts.
No thanks. I drive a Winkin.
Right. That's pretty much it for Zex. You're essentially saying it doesn't matter. That's exactly right.
So Fuzz is right again as usual.
What? You can't use Xerox copy where the person just signs their name on it or something?
That might be what Stacey Abrams is doing. That's going to get her a cabinet position.
Nobody was wearing a mask when I went in and voted. Was anybody
Yeah,
wearing a mask for you?
I only saw one person come in with one. That was it.
Damn.
And,
Oh,
and,
you're right.
and I had uh, my special shirt on for that just in case.
Well, there was a gal at my polling place that she was probably pushing 90, and she was the only one wearing any kind of mask. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. You're actually working the table, taking people's IDs and scanning them, and asking questions about what's on your ID. So, if you just somebody said, "Hey, take my ID, go in there and vote or whatever," um, you better know what's on that ID. In my state, at least in my county. Um, but yeah, she was probably pushing 90, and so I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna give you no grief over that. But we do still fill out the bubble form sheets, and they still get scanned into electronic systems. So there's that. Um, Luckily, Iowa did really good for itself this go round. Hopefully, uh, we just didn't bring in more turncoats.
Oh, and that's the thing these days. We got to really be careful because there's more and more of the rhinos and turncoats showing up and showing their true colors. Yeah, Fuzz, that's one of the big issues right there is the mail-in voting problem. That's a huge one.
I like early voting, but the mail-in thing's got to go. Particularly those drop boxes. That just reeks of impropriety.
Yep.
So, I got a question for you. Who am I going to ask?
I
Alan,
think you
in the
just
gun,
did.
Alan, in the gun that you have on your side right now, how many bullets are in your mag?
Oh, that's 12.
That's two more than New York. Now, why do we let this stuff go on and them telling us how many bullets we can have in our magazines? It's stupid, and it's being put on us in some states by people that absolutely have no clue of what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd. And like in Oregon with the 114 that was trying to get passed, the fact is people aren't educating their kids out there for for one. Um, it, just the 10 rounds in a magazine. Oh, okay. Well, how about you you know do something bolder, like get firearms out of the hands of criminals.
I
That
thought
would be
that did
that would
pass. I thought that 114 in Oregon passed. I'm looking
Yeah,
it up
but it's
now.
already being protested.
Oh, good.
There's a number of counties and a number of sheriffs that are just like, nope, we're not enforcing it. Not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. There's a bunch of sheriffs, at least half a dozen or so right now that came out and said they won't support it. They won't do it. So,
So far,
it'll end up in the Supreme Court probably.
yeah. Well, it hasn't passed or failed yet, but right now, over 50% of the people have voted yes to implement that.
Yeah, the majority is for it currently. Um, and you know, that's it's just looking like it's getting ready to, but they're already protesting it.
Yeah.
The problem with Oregon is it's like some other states like Tennessee and stuff like that. It's not the small little towns and cities. It's the big cities that have all the freaking liberals in them that cause the problem. And unfortunately, they have more liberals in those cities. And once you get all those votes in, that's where it all goes.
Yeah.
Our
And
founding
everybody,
fathers said the way they set everything up was this a comment about the electoral college or just our type of constitutional republic? It's to keep two wolves and a sheep from having an election on who's for dinner.
Edward, I would say yes. But then again, don't matter what I say, right?
Well, I mean, it only says 10 rounds in the magazine. It doesn't say nothing about one in the pipe.
Right.
So I'd have to say more than likely you're probably good. Well, and the problem there, Anna, is so many people, especially all these politicians, constantly just keep pushing democracy, democracy. That word just comes out 100 times a day. Constant push to get people to believe that.
Nobody wants to live in a democracy. That's mob rule. The founding fathers knew exactly what they were doing when they set up our democratic constitutional republic, and that's what the what's the word, electoral college is all about. It keeps from the mob ruling, and
Yeah, Paul, we got a bunch of liberals out this way too. Columbus, Dayton, Cincy,
Toledo.
Toledo, and heck, even in Cleveland too. There's a bunch up this way as well.
I want to say
The good thing about Ohio is we still have enough rednecks out in the little countries and the little cities and stuff and the little towns that make up the difference.
Now, who here really knows where the term redneck originated from?
I used to started in the mining wars, I believe.
The Battle of Bald Mountain. Union and coal miners fighting against ununionized labor, well, the owners. And there you had all races wearing the red handkerchief that gave them the name redneck.
Mm-hmm.
Black, whites, Irish, whoever.
That term has taken on several connotations over its lifespan. After that, it came to mean anybody that works outside, the rednecks, the working man who worked outside. Then it came to mean somebody from the South that likes to raise all kind of cane and uh, bad to fight and all that kind of stuff. Troublemakers, basically. But now it is involved into more of a claim of honor in the southern states, especially, or anybody that lives outside the big cities. who loves freedom, hunting, country style living, that kind of stuff. Time to get my bullets out the oven. Wait just a minute. Powder coating is a wonderful thing. You should try it, Fuzz.
He should come into the modern age. I'm just glad that he finally got into the 19th century because he was living 16th century so long. I mean, he's come a long way. Let's just nudge him a little bit farther. 21st century.
Is it the 20th or the 21st?
21st century now.
Are we sure? Ask
Yep.
Biden. Ask Biden.
Well, I've only got one word to say about that. He's totally nuts.
Yeah, for to basically come out and say that magazines are not necessary to firearms because they shouldn't be protected underneath the Second Amendment because they're not required in order to use the firearm. What? That just made absolutely no sense. He's completely illogical and has no idea even what he's saying. So,
has he even done a address to the nation yet?
I believe so, and I believe it was absolutely fucking terrible.
How long ago was that? The last 2 years, how many has he done? One at the beginning?
Yeah, he just did one a couple, what was it, a month and a half, 2 months ago?
I was going to say, it was pretty recent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he had to do an inaugural address, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but he did one here not too long ago.
Well, this is the thing. It's been a tradition that every year the president deliver a State of the Union address. It's not law, and as far as I'm concerned, he can skip it, man.
I liked it when Reagan did them.
I loved it when he did them, and I liked the first half of Bill Clinton's, but after 2 hours, I kind of lost interest.
Reagan would throw in some jokes on his stuff. I mean, he'd have both. He was ruthless. He would take on both sides of the aisle and pick on them with his jokes.
He did.
Yeah, and there was countries that were afraid of Reagan. We don't see that with the current person that's filling that seat. We just don't see that. China, Russia, they're both afraid of Reagan. They're like, this guy is crazy enough to do it.
I thought it was hilarious with Reagan told that we've outlawed communism joke on his reelection. And Russia upped their DEFCON up a level, right, because of a joke.
And Thorzak's is right. Thing about Bill Clinton, he was a lot of things, Dave. There's no question. He was kind of fun to be around. But he had enough sense to understand that it is about the economy, stupid. And he also knew a good thing when he saw it. And he knew that Reagan and George H.W. Bush had the economy on a good road. He was smart enough not to mess it up. And there's a lot of Democrats. Well, there's a lot of people not smart enough to realize that, and I give him kudos for that because the economy did well with when Clinton was. I mean, he was the last time we had a balanced budget in this country, if I'm not mistaken. Probably am.
Yeah, and it's just like Obama. Obama wasn't running the country. That was Michael.
Well, yeah, Bill Clinton. I mean, Paco's got it. You know, the guy had at least some taste somewhere. How he married Hillary, I don't know. But you know, he did dip cigars in the Oval Office. He liked the flavor of a good dip cigar. So.
Well, he's not the only one. I mean, the the difference between him and the rest of them, except Jimmy Carter, was he got caught. The rest of them had a little more discretion.
He lied. That's all there is to it. He lied.
He lied.
It's like he should have said it was going to come out. It's like, yeah, the press. It's like you got the Mile High Club and then you got the Oval Office. Which one is more exclusive? America would have went ha ha, you know. Other groups would have said, but it would have been over.
Well, and that's one of the things that kind of pushed Arnold Schwarzenegger when he ran in California. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, yeah, I did that. And everything they threw at the guy, he was like, yeah, I did that too. Yep. He just like owned it. He just straight owned it. And, you know, instead of beating around the bush or lying about it, I mean, the Kennedys, for goodness sake, that the Oval Office was bigger and badder than the penthouse mansion in their years.
Well,
They
shit,
weren't
you,
hiding
you
that
could
shit.
you could go back and watch Pumping Iron and see pretty much everything Arnie did. He's
Yeah.
not denying it. It's all on film.
Wow, Fuzz. I can't believe you said that out loud. In all caps.
Bill,
Yes.
Bill Clinton said that. Something very similar. Fuzzy just put it the non-vulgar way to have a little better taste in the statement.
We appreciate Fuzz for that.
I'm still waiting for that one movie about the Kennedys to come out. A Bridge Too Far. You don't know the significance on that one? The senator, you know, drunk, drove off the bridge and drowned his girlfriend.
He wasn't a senator when that happened.
Well, he was in something.
And A Bridge Too Far is a World War II movie.
Well, yeah, but, you know, he went a bridge too far on that one.
They did everything they could to cover that up, too. That was the initial crack in the Kennedy wall, I believe. Because after that happened, the flood of stuff started coming out about John and his escapades and Pop and all the rest. But anyway. So you going to work tonight, Scotsman?
I am. Unfortunately. Alan, you want to run through the room, man? We haven't done that in a little bit, and then we'll start getting ready to get out of here.
Yeah, I've been watching that side chat roll. It's with Fuzz 48 and Annalie Brown and Thorzak's and Paco, and it's just been Garage Guy 879 still out there. Paul P out there. Bald and Curious, Idaho Rogers. Yeah, thanks for sticking with us there, folks. Yeah, some of the people, I guess, some people are just tired of hearing politics right now, I guess.
No, that's understandable. I mean, it's definitely understandable. Daniel, what you got, man? We'll start going through the room here. What you got?
Oh, just waiting when you come down to shoot that 243 AR-10.
We can try and do that sometime soon.
I might hold your camera for you while you're making a video, because I'm sure not making videos.
Right.
I'm probably not going to have any more coming out until the spring. But thanks for having me on Side Chat. It's been very entertaining. And nice talking to you there, Jamie and Alan.
Always good to see you, brother. Jamie, what you got?
I'm wanting to do some shotgun videos. I don't know why, I just do. And maybe I'll get to work on that here in the next month or so. But I want to invite all y'all over to Georgia Shooting Connection on Friday nights at 8 o'clock, where we do not talk about politics. Thanks for having me, brother. I hope the work goes well tonight. I hope everybody has a good week.
Absolutely, always good having you. Appreciate you. That's good chat. We had a lot of people out there for a while, and then again, kind of got into politics things, but that happens. But appreciate everyone out there. And with that being said, I'm going to throw it to Alan to take us out, right?
Oh, man. Good news there, Fuzzy. Good news. YouTube strike ends tomorrow on him. Yeah, it's been a good chat. We did our norm. I'm going to show a part of a firearm. This is not a complete firearm, and so it cannot function. But my 1022 did end up getting some new glass, and it got a couple other little doodads as well. That just happened literally right before the chat, amongst a few other things happening. If I'm going to be turning out any videos is highly, highly unlikely. Still the 12 hours a day, 6 pushing 7 days a week is still happening. One of the cool little toys that I did end up acquiring was what's called a lens pen. It's a lens pen, and it is a Sig Sauer braided lens pen. This is for cleaning your red dots. So it's got this fancy dancy push button broom for the red dot, and it's also got some type of weird chemically treated pad to push onto your lens and scrape the crap off your lens. Beautiful little tool, and I want to thank Sig for sending that to me for absolutely no reason other than being a customer of theirs. There was one other thing. What the hell was it? Oh, it's to keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!